Welcome. Poem 8, Part 2, Question Answer, 10th Standard. As per 2024-2025 Karnataka State Board Syllabus, English First Language Part 2. Glossary, frozen ground swell. Displacement of stones caused by heavy frost. Boulders means water-worn rounded stones. Abreast means side by side. Helping means uttering short, sharp barks. Lobes means or balls means the shape of the round stones. Well means magic. Pine means the tree that grows in a cool northern regions. It has thin, sharp leaves. It produces cones, the fruits with the seeds of the pine. Elsa means elf sing, small fairies that are said to play tricks on people. Savage and Saint Man. Second main comprehension question. A. Answer briefly the following questions. 1. Something in line 1 refers to A. Natural causes, B. Supernatural causes, C. Man-made causes. In mending wall, the something in line 1 refers to natural causes. Option A is the answer. It describes the natural forces like frost and weather and disrupt the wall, causing gaps to form. Frost personifies this as a force actively seeking to break down the barriers. Second one, how does nature disturb the stones on the wall? Nature disturbs the stones on the wall through various natural forces. Frost, key element in the poem, causes the ground to swell and shift, dislodging the stones from their places. Over time, weather conditions like rain, wind, and changing seasons also contribute to walls deterioration. These natural disruptions symbolize the persistence of force that challenge man-made boundaries. Third one, how do hunters disturb the stones on the wall? In mending wall, hunters disturb the stones on the wall by dismantling parts of it while hunting for rabbits. They pull down the stones to create gaps, allowing their dogs to flush out rabbits hiding in crevices or under the wall. This action reflects how human activities can also contribute to the breaking down of boundaries, complementing the natural disruptions mentioned earlier. Proust uses this to further explore the theme of impermanence of barriers. Fourth one, who does they in line 7 refer to? In line 7 of Mending Wall, the pronoun they refer to hunter's dogs. The dogs disturb the wall while chasing rabbits, as the hunter used them to flush out the rabbits hiding under or near the stones. Proust portrays this as another way human interference contributes to the wall's ongoing disrepair alongside natural causes. It adds a layer to the poem's exploration of boundaries and their fragility. Question number 5. Who are the two characters in the poem? Note the speaker is not the poet. The two characters in the mending all are the speaker, the reflective and questioning individual who challenges the necessity of the work, considering whether it truly serves a purpose. The speaker finds the tradition of mending the wall somewhat unnecessary and contemplates the natural forces that seem to oppose its existence. 2. The neighbor, a more traditional and reserved figure who believes in maintaining boundaries, repeating the adage, good fences make good neighbors. The neighbor represents the adherence to customs and values the separation the wall provides. Their contrasting perspectives drive the poem's exploration of boundaries, relationships, and tradition. 6. When does the mending of the wall takes place? The mending of the wall takes place during spring, as mentioned in poem. This is when the two neighbors meet to repair the wall that separates their properties. Spring, a season associated with the renewal and growth, adds an interesting contrast to the act of rebuilding boundaries, highlighting the tension between the tradition and the change. 7. When the poet says, we have to use a spell to make them balance. He really means that they had to use a magic spell to make the stones stand one above the other. He is really just saying it humorously. He regrets that he did not know magic. Correct answer is B. He just saying it humorously. The poet uses the phrase, we have to use a spell to make them balance, to describe in a light-hearted and figurative manner the difficulty of balancing the uneven stones which, while mending the wall, it reflects the crossed, playful stone and underscores the seemingly futile yet recurring effort involved in maintaining boundaries. 8. I let my neighbor know. Line 12. What did the speaker let the neighbor know? In line 12 of Mending Wall, the speaker lets the neighbor know about the gaps in the wall. These gaps are caused by the natural forces or human activity, and the speaker acknowledges the need for mending them together. This invitation sets the stage for annual tradition of repairing the wall and introduces the central theme of the poem, the balance between connection and separation through boundaries. 9a. What is referred to as just another outdoor game? A. In mending wall, the act of mending the wall itself is referred to as just another outdoor game. This phrase captures the physical labor involved in fixing the wall and emphasizes the routine, almost playful nature of the task. B. Why does the speaker call it a game? The speaker calls it a game because it feels like a ritual or an activity they perform together akin to choreographed exercise. There's an element of irony and lightheartedness in this comparison, as the speaker sees the act as somewhat unnecessary and symbolic rather than practical. This playful framing underscores the speaker's questioning attitude toward the tradition. Then, what argument does the speaker give to convince his neighbor that they do not need the wall? The speaker argues that they do not need the wall because there is no practical purpose for it. He points out that there are no cows or livestock that could stray into the neighbor's property, as the wall separates an orchard and a pine grove. This reasoning implies that the wall is unnecessary, as the properties are not in conflict or at risk of encroachment. The speaker's questioning reflects his broader skepticism of the tradition of maintaining barriers. It's a subtle but profound way of challenging the status quo. 11. What is the neighbor's stock reply? The neighbor's stock reply in Mending Wall is the repeated adage, good fences make good neighbors. This phrase encapsulates the neighbor's firm belief in maintaining boundaries, both physical and metaphorical. He uses this traditional saying to justify the act of rebuilding the wall, even though the speaker questions its necessity. It highlights the neighbor's adherence to the tradition and his reluctance to challenge established norms. This contrast in perspectives is central to poem's deeper exploration of human relationships and boundaries. Well, by building a wall between neighbors, what are we walling in and what are we walling out? In mending wall, the act of building a wall metaphorically raises the question of what are we trying to wall in or wall out? The speaker leaves this question open ended, inviting interpretation. One way to view it is that by building walls, we might be walling in a personal space, privacy, and security. Conversely, we might also be walling out opportunities for connection, understanding, and trust with our neighbors. The poem challenges readers to reflect on the purpose of boundaries. Are they meant to protect or to isolate? It's a great, thought provoking, and universal question that continues to resonate. 13. The speaker says, I rather, he said it for himself. A. What does it refer to here? A. In this context, it refers to the phrase, good fences make good neighbors, which is repeatedly used by the neighbor in the poem to justify the need for the wall. B. What does the speaker mean by this statement? By this statement, the speaker means that he wishes the neighbor would express his own reasoning or thoughts about why the wall is necessary, instead of merely repeating a traditional saying handed down from others. The speaker is hoping for a deeper, more personal reflection from the neighbor rather than aliens on an old adage. This highlights the speaker's desire for meaningful dialogue and understanding as opposed to bli- blind adherence to tradition. It's a subtle yet poignant critique of conformity. 14. How does the neighbor carrying a stone in each hand appear to the poet? The neighbor carrying a stone in a hand appears to the poet as an old stone savage armed. This vivid description compares the neighbor to a primitive figure, emphasizing his traditional and unyielding nature. The image suggests a sense of stubbornness and simplicity, portraying the neighbor as someone who is firmly rooted in old customs and rituals. Frost uses this metaphor to contrast the neighbor's adherence to tradition with the speaker's more reflective and questioning perspective on the necessity of the wall. 15. Darkness in the line 41 refers to option A. Darkness in the woods under the shade of tree. B. A mental darkness, ignorance. C. His blindness to see the light in the speaker's argument. Correct answer is B. Mental darkness, ignorance. In line 41 of Mending Wall, the darkness symbolizes the neighbor's ignorance or unwillingness to question the tradition of maintaining the wall. It reflects his adherence to outdated customs without considering their relevance or necessity. This mental darkness contrasts with the speaker's open minded and reflective attitude, highlighting the central tension in the poem. 16. Ross says that this poem is metaphor, saying one thing and meaning another. The wall in the poem is a metaphor. What do you think is the metaphorical meaning of wall? In Mending Wall, the wall serves as the powerful metaphor for boundaries in human relationships. It symbolizes the divisions people create, physical, emotional, or social, to maintain a sense of separation and individuality. These walls can represent traditions, prejudices, or even misunderstandings that prevent deeper connections and mutual understanding. At the same time, the wall also symbolizes the effort required to maintain relationships, just as the neighbors must come together to repair the wall. Human connections require cooperation, communication, and shared rituals. The wall therefore embodies both the barriers we build and the bonds we form in the process of maintaining those boundaries. 17. Why do you think the speaker resents the wall? What does he want? The speaker in the mending wall represents the wall because he sees it as unnecessary and symbolic of outdated traditions. He questions the need for such a barrier, especially since there is no practical purpose for it. There are no livestock to contain or real disputes to resolve. To the speaker, the wall represents an arbitrary division that disrupts the natural harmony and the potential for genuine connection between neighbors. What the speaker truly wants is for his neighbor to critically reflect on the reasons behind maintaining the wall, rather than blindly following tradition. He desires a relationship based on understanding and mutual respect, without the need for physical or metaphorical barriers. The speaker's reflections suggest his longing for openness and the breaking down of unnecessary divisions. Be close study. Read the following extracts carefully, discuss in pairs, and then write the answers to the questions given below them. 1. He moves in darkness as it seems to me, not of woods only and the shades of trees. He. Who does he in the first line refer to? He refers to the speaker's neighbor, who is helping to rebuild the wall in mending wall. B. What does darkness mean here? In this context, darkness symbolizes ignorance and an unreflective adherence to tradition or lack of insight. It represents the neighbor's blind commitment to maintaining the wall without questioning its necessity or purpose. Why does the speaker say that he moves in darkness? The speaker says this because the neighbor is metaphorically in the dark, relying on outdated beliefs and customs, such as saying, good fences make good neighbors. The neighbor does not consider the speaker's arguments against the wall and moves through life clinging to tradition instead of seeking understanding or change. This darkness reflects mental and emotional state rather than a literal one. 2. Stay where you are until our backs are turned. A. Who are these words said to? These words are harmoniously addressed to stones of the wall, as speaker describes the difficulty of balancing them while mending the wall. B. Who does our refer to? Our refers to the speaker and the neighbor, who are both engaged in the task of repairing the wall together. C. What is the tone of the speaker? The tone of the speaker here is light-hearted and playful. The speaker uses humor to express the challenge of keeping the stones balanced, almost as if the stones have a will of their own and need to be commanded to stay in place. This harmonious tone adds a touch of levity to the poem's deeper exploration of boundaries and traditions. Paragraph 3, paragraph writing, mean 3, discuss in pairs the answers to the following questions. Individually note down the points and then develop the points into the one paragraph answer. 1. If you were given a chance to live with one of these characters in the poem, whom would you like to live with? Why? If I were given a chance to live with one of the characters from the Mending Wall, I would choose to live with the speaker. The speaker's reflective and questioning nature makes them an intriguing companion. They are open minded and willing to challenge tradition as seen in their skepticism about the necessity of the wall. This perspective, this perspective encourages the meaningful conversations and fosters a deeper understanding of the world around us. Living with someone like the speaker would offer opportunities for intellectual growth and shared curiosity. Their humor and playful tone, as evidenced in their interactions while mending the wall, would also make daily life enjoyable and engaging. Overall, the speaker's balanced approach to life, blending critical thinking with lightheartedness, makes them an ideal companion for meaningful and stimulating interactions. Please like, share, comment, subscribe, and save the playlist. Thank you very much. Bye.